Skip, would you say that one of the big differences in this series so far has been fundamentals, and that the Dodgers have had those mistakes at the absolute wrong time?
I mean, there's a few ways to look at it. I mean, I know that we've had a lot of guys in scoring position. If we had that one big hit, I think you could overlook a few of those things. Postseason, there's so many things are magnified. I know which plays you're talking about, but I think the bigger story is their pitchers have made big pitches at the right time. I mean, this series could have been turned around. It could be the opposite of 3-1 in our favor, just with a couple of key hits with men in scoring position, and we just haven't come through yet.
Next question, for Skip. Over here towards the left.
When you look at all the postseason and really during the season, you see pitching is really, especially young pitching, is really elevated from a few years ago. I mean, what is the difference between the young pitchers you see now and the ones you might have seen earlier in your career?
Well, the velocity is crazy. I remember, first coming up in 05, going through bullpens, and there was maybe one guy throwing 95. Now it's their starter throwing 95. In a series like this, it's tough because there's so many new faces on the Cardinals. I know a lot of guys are looking at me for scouting reports, and I haven't faced them, and I don't even know who they are. And it seems like they're coming up one after another, throwing 95 plus. And when you don't have too many at bats against certain guys, and going into a postseason, it's very difficult. The matchup is tough because you don't know what they have. And they're riding some very talented kids over there, Martinez and Seagrass, guys that none of us have really faced too much in big spots, and they're throwing 100 miles an hour with some decent off speed. So it's a credit to Derek Lilliquist has done great, taking over Dave Duncan, and they're here for a reason. It's because those young arms are very talented.
And all the way in the back to the right.
Skip, you mentioned the unfamiliarity. Now that you're seeing a starting pitching matchup that we already saw in Game 1, is this just basically going to be a game of adjustments?
It has to be, yeah. We've seen Joe now 2 times, and hopefully we can make that adjustment against him from Game 1 to now. And we got a pretty good pitcher on our side going, so hopefully Greinke can at least match what Joe did to us Game 1. But I tell you, I know Joe a little bit. He's not only is his talent there, but he's mentally he's very strong, very confident, and I really liked him when I was over there. And there's a reason why they keep handing him the ball, because they're confident in what he can do. And so we have a tough task, no doubt about it. But hopefully we can adjust from what he did to us Game 1.
And against the wall.
Skip, you played with and against Yadi Molina. Can you talk about what he means to a team from the perspective of playing with them and then also playing against them?
In my opinion, not only is Yadi the MVP of that team, but the league. What he means to them defensively, commanding the game, shutting down the running game almost completely. If you watch him really closely during the game, he's moving in outfielders. He's telling infielders, take a step right or the left. He's one of the smarter baseball people I've been around, and maybe the smartest. So that he makes the team that much better, and makes those young pitchers so good, because they know they can trust him and not have to shake him off at any point. And that's a really good thing to have confidence-wise when you're a young pitcher.
And again to the right.
Skip, what made the difference for the Giants last year against the Cardinals when they came back against you from 3-1 down? Any inspiration you can take from that?
Well, yes, I've seen it happen. So that's what I'm hoping happens on our side. Is we have our pitchers lined up, and if St. Louis does beat us, they beat us against our best guys going. So we feel confident in who we have against them, with Greinke, Kirsch, and Rue going, and if we can just get that key hit, I think that would change the momentum as far as scoring. scoring position and hopefully, try to run the table. But I've seen it happen, so I know it can be done. And there's a reason why it's a 7-game series. And I thought it was going to go 7 games at the beginning just because it's so evenly matched in these teams. So I'm hoping I'm right.
And then to the left.
When that happened last year, I mean, there's such a debate about whether momentum really exists in baseball because of the nature of the starting pitcher and all that. But when that was happening last year, how much could you feel it being a matter of momentum, or was it just, a separate 1-game series every night?
Well, I think there was a little, I think there's a little bit of momentum on their side because they just won with Zito on the mound and they had their 2 horses going at home. So I think they were excited about where they were at. But I feel like you have to go 1 game. I know it's cliche, but you have to do it that way. You can't think too far ahead. We like Greinke going today, and we know we have going forward. But we really like what Greinke we think is going to give us today, and it's going to give us a chance to win. And we feel like that with every pitcher, but especially with Zach going today. So I think you have to, for us especially, you have to think of it as today, and obviously we're going home, so we have to win